So the question is, are we buying ES or are we selling ES? It's getting kind of tricky. I'm not gonna lie. The biggest thing here to pay attention to is just remembering to stay in line with the overall trend. So you kind of have to choose a bias. You definitely want to look at both sides and see how both sides of this can play out. But you kind of have to have a bias, and it kind of has to be in line with the overall highest macro trend. So when we're looking at the daily, it's a no-brainer. Looking at the daily, we barely wicked above highs, barely got a break below, where we're keeping the bullish trend intact. Got the retest of it, selling off. Here's the thing, I had to switch to ES, this ES contra, to continuous, to see the price action back here. So we sold off into a level, we're getting a bounce from it. Would have been much better if it was this level down here. And this is what we're considering for if we get a push up and continuation lower. This is what we're targeting, this major key level. So that's on the daily, right? It's looking obvious. It's looking, oh, we've been in a downtrend since February, but we've been in a downtrend for a month. Let's look for more continuation to the downside. But this is the level we'd be looking to take for rejection and continuation to the downside. Bulls are stepping in now on the daily. The daily trend is trying to change. Here it changed for a continuation move. Now it's changing on the daily again. Low, lower low, a break above that high. Bulls came in here. Bears came in, retested that level. Bulls held that level again. And then again, defending that level. Now we're getting strong buying. So, the trend change happened on the daily. Another one happened on the daily. So that means the trend is changing. Whether it's short term, long term, whatever, right? If this was just a short term pullback on the daily, then I wouldn't want to see this change happen on the daily. If this happens on the 4 hour, okay, fine, that's one thing. It happened on the 4 hour. But to see this same pattern print on the daily means that the trend is changing, right? So we can get up here and then it prints back to bearish and then continues, which is possible. But for now, in the short term, the bulls are currently in control. Know what you're saying? We just said we got to consider the overall picture, right? So let's consider the overall picture by going to the weekly. Now, going to the weekly, it's fair to say that there's some demand here, right? Strong buying came from this level, made a huge push up. So it's fair to say that there's some demand there. So we could be bouncing from demand. We could just be bouncing from demand and we see a continuous move higher. Of course, again, this level is always in question because on the weekly we broke it as well, right? So we did break this level on the weekly. So this is a key level that we're watching. A rejection can happen here. A rejection can happen here. But in the short term, for the rest of the week, price more than likely wants to get to that level. So that's what we're trying to figure out. Does price want to get to that level? If we go to the monthly, we see even more information. That level that we're just watching and said broke on the weekly, and we could see a push back into it and a continuation lower. If we close at the end of this month back inside this range, we're not looking very bearish anymore, are we? If this monthly that closes in 6 days pushes back up, which is possible because currently the buyers are in control on the daily time frame, pushes back up and closes back within this range, it no longer looks as bearish as it did a second ago when we're looking on the weekly. And it's looking real obvious. Well, didn't we break that range? Yeah. But on the monthly, the bigger picture, price would still be up here. There would be very strong bullish intent. Price would be closing back inside the range. And either we see ranging conditions or a massive trap to the downside where we can get a move higher. Now I was looking at what happened on the monthly, and to confirm the monthly switch into bearish, we would not only want to see a close below this range that we're looking at, the weekly range, but below here. We want to see a strong close below here. And then we're saying, okay, the monthly is looking bearish now. So 6 days is going to kind of let us know what we want to do overall for this, right? Because if we get a breakdown below here, after already tapping demand, where strong buying should have taken place, and it is taking place. If we get back below here and we close, then it's looking pretty bearish. Then that's when we can look to take a retest and things can really get gritty. So always keeping that higher time frame in mind than the yearly. That gives us a little bit more information by saying if that monthly was to roll over, then we definitely could target like something all the way back down to like 48.12, which is scary. I would hate to, I don't want to think about that. But yeah, if the monthly were to roll over there, then we'd be looking for our next key level that it could go into. Because when we're talking about the year, it's very possible that we see a pullback into this level, and it's still just a pullback because the yearly uptrend will still be intact. So price will be looking for the next key level. So that's why I'm saying it's very possible that bulls stay in control right now. They're showing clear intent on the daily. And if you're day trading, that's what you want to pay attention to. Because if they're going to reject, we're going to see some more clear signs at that level. Now, I'm not saying trade above that level, but we're back on MES now. We just needed that overall context, so we had to switch. But this is the level on MES. Same thing. Resistance here. We can get a move into here or get a move into that weekly range that we just broke. So that's another clue is, yeah, there may be people shorting here, which is, if they're wrong, they're going to be trapped and they're going to have to cover coming back into this weekly level. And we'll have to address that when we get there. But since the daily has shifted, once we get back up here, we're more than likely going to have to wait for a daily shift back into the other direction. Since this is a new trend, a new uptrend has started. So what am I looking for tomorrow? I really want to see it hold above 57.27. For bulls to remain in control, they got to stay above this level. Because if we look, again, where this started, we got our low, our lower low. This is the level where they needed to break above. They're just now breaking out above this level. So price definitely can come down here, retest, not only retest, but fill the gap. Price can retest. And if it holds up, we now still need to retest these levels above. We came very close to these zones, but we didn't. We didn't test them. And we definitely didn't get any signs, any patterns that a reversal was coming. And we'd at least have to see, since the daily is in control, we'd at least have to see a 4-hour bearish pattern form at these levels to switch us back to bearish. So currently as we are, if we pull back into these levels, maybe it's the highs here, that would be ideal. Because this wick. So what's the pattern for the 4-hour? Low. Here was the high, low, high. The high that made this down move, we pushed this down, lower low. Then we moved up. So usually I'd be taking the up candle, the last high before the move down, which could be here at this wick, which would be nice if we see us holding above this range. That would be nice. But we also have here, this was an up move before this move down, which is also at the gap fill and the level that we're looking to retest that daily breakout from above. So that's really the key level. That's really the key level. Now, it might not happen all tomorrow. That's important. I'm going to want to wait to get involved at this level, if that's what it is, because that's the setup. That's pretty much the setup. Low, higher, high, push above. Now, sometimes it's valid to see the body get retested. So low, high, lower, low. That body got retested. But that wick, we didn't get a break above that wick yet, which is important. That's what confirms the setup. And then we got the break. Now we're waiting for the retest of that wick. So, liquidity resting above. 1, because it's the previous day's high, so there's liquidity there. 2, because we want to see price draw into this key level. If we move down tomorrow, which is it's 2:29 now, so this is for Tuesday's trading day. Without printing any 4-hour bearish setup, great. That means the daily bulls are still in control. Even if we get a bearish setup on the 1 hour, does not matter. I want to see a bearish print on the 4 hour. Who cares about the 1 hour? 1 hour can easily be invalidated with another push higher into the zone and then a real formation to go bearish. This setup, we might not get back down to this level until Thursday. Who knows? But as long as this level stays intact, the buyers have an opportunity. Now, again, I'm not saying that we're going to shoot to all-time highs, but I'm saying in the short term, until we can get to these levels, until we can get to these key levels where the real war takes place, the real buying and selling war takes place, to decide if we're going to continue selling off or if this is just a weekly bounce from demand that's going to start moving higher, we at least want to get past this area. So I'm going to be looking for that gap fill to close. And I'll be looking to evaluate what price action looks like when we get down there. And I'm going to be looking for the rest of these setups to confirm. Because it's the same thing on the 4 hour. Low, high, lower, low. You got a setup within a setup. So that's 2 setups versus 1. So as long as we don't get a bearish setup printing up here, then this should be fine. This one should be fine as long as we don't get a bearish setup up here. And this is the same thing that we traded on gold earlier. It was the same thing. There was a 4 hour supply above. We got this set up. Price didn't get to the zone yet before it started turning around. And then we went long. Going into the zone. And then that's when what we're looking for, a bearish shift. Then that's when the bearish shift occurred. And we were able to look for getting out, right, and waiting to see a real formation there. A real formation and a real rejection. That was confirmed by a higher time frame. So as long as there's no higher time frame, bearish trend shifts printing are signs that the bears are taking control in a higher time frame, where we can see the larger players in order flow confirm that bearish movement. Then you can easily just get a spike up, maybe a double top up here in this zone, maybe a move continuing higher. This is just where we're making a thesis that price wants to target this area, right? So that's all we're doing here, is saying price wants to target this area. So whatever happens before price targets that area, we can trade. You can be a bull, whatever, not too worried about it. But once price touches, now once we get up there, I'm not saying keep buying. I'm not saying, all right, now wait for another pullback and go long. All I'm simply saying is, until price gets up there, just keep doing what you're seeing. If you're day trading, if you're trading on 1 hour, trading a 30-minute, right now the daily trend is bullish. Right now the daily bias is bullish. Right? Despite everything that happened here, right now, since you're a day trader and you can capitalize even on short-term trends, right now it's looking bullish. This could change by the end of the week. Might not even get, this setup here. And the thing that's really damaging the most, that tricked me up a lot in the past, and sorry if there's a lot going on here. I can delete this. I don't want to delete it, but I'll just turn this off for a second. The thing that tripped me up the most in the past is not knowing which area of demand to take. So I like this one down here because we're getting a setup within a setup. We're getting a 4 hour and we're getting a daily. So that's really the most important level we want to see. But this level holding above the range, that's bullish too. Right? You want to see price break above and hold above the range. Sometimes it falls back down and it's still bullish. Like here's the top of the range. Ideally, you want to see price pull back into it and stay. Sometimes you see price reject, pull back further, but the trend up still is intact. Cool. So that might be a scenario where we see here. We'd like to see price hold above this range. Sometimes it pulls back into the range, comes back into another area, but as long as it doesn't invalidate the lows, then you can get another move higher. So I'd be looking to see this level is intact. I would be telling myself, as long as we're above this level, we're bullish. If we're below it, we're bearish. And then price comes back down. I take a long, get stopped out. I say, okay, that means we're bearish now, because obviously on the lower time frame, it will be going down. I say, okay, we're bearish now. But here's a double 4 hour and daily setup where the bulls will be entering the market. But since I already got stopped out and price fell back below these highs, I'm saying, okay, now I'm bearish. I'll be bearish now. Look for bearish setups. We might come down, break under another area of demand or something and try to short it. And now I'm shorting right into higher time frame buying. And then it goes without me. And then I'm like, what? Well, that was the whole time I knew price could go up here. I knew I wanted to be a bull. That's how it happens. That is how it happens. So again, of course, paying attention to exhaustion. If this move just fizzles out without any real rejection or any real bearish patterns printing against it, which of course I want to see on the 4 hour. Here's one happening on the 1 hour, but I want to see one happening on the 4 hour. To confirm, then we're good. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. So tomorrow, it's possible to short. It is possible to short. Let's say you get something like this, right, on the 30-minute where you got a high, you got your low, you got your higher high. Price breaks below here. You retest, you enter short with your stop above, and then you're targeting that first level where we wanted to see if bulls step in and defend. Or maybe you're taking it all the way back down to here to see if bulls are going to step in here at this level and defend. What are you going to do? Which one are you going to choose? So possible to take some shorts because we could get a lower time frame short time frame trend, counter trend at this point, because the 30 will be acting against the daily because the daily is still bullish. The 30 and the 1 hour could go bearish. So you'd be looking to get out, right? You'd be looking to get out when you come into an area where the higher time frame can come back into play and get continuation. You'd be looking to get out at an area where the higher time frame can continue to work and give continuation. So that's what I'm looking for. Let me know how you guys are feeling about it in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what you think is going to happen and how you're looking to trade this market.